My name is Barry Sterling Mitchell. I produce the Sterling Net Point Power Rankings and the Bias Plus Reports. Today is January 1st, 2026. This is the new year, and we are about to kick it off. Okay, Benny, so we're going to kick off week 18. Ben and Barry on football, taking advantage of the Bias Plus Reports to take a look at the matchups for the final week of the regular season. And Benny, I've already asked for a moment of silence on our Facebook page for the loss of Thursday night and Monday night football. It's a void. I'm not sure how I'm going to fill it yet.
Oh my God.
You're
going to feel it like everybody else does with NBA.
NBA. Well, I still got some Madden here too. You know what I mean? Amazing. All right, let's start to take a look at these matchups, Benny. We don't have a Thursday night game, but we do have two, not one, two Saturday games. And we're talking games of importance, not just any old game, Benny. Games of importance on Saturday coming up. Okay, Benny, first up on Saturday, we have Panthers at Buccaneers. Carolina, and again, they are still in it, right? And the Buccaneers
absolutely
are still in it. So we have two contenders. And again, these games, it was funny. Last week at the end of week 17, when you looked at week 18, it all said to be determined. And then at some particular point, was it Tuesday night or whatever? Bam, all the games came up and you got what you got. So we're just seeing what the matchups are or when the schedules are. We kind of knew what the matchups are. We just didn't know when it was going to happen. Panthers at Buccaneers. First game on Saturday, Bias Plus score of 3.3. That's a differential of 3, about a field goal favoring the Buccaneers. Benny, the Panthers are ranked 23rd in net points. The Buccaneers are ranked 20th. They're extremely close. And the Bucs have the turnover differential at 0.3. So, what do you have on this?
Okay. This is that crazy up and down NFC South. So here's the deal. The Bucs are at home. They're 7-9. Baker Mayfield put up really big numbers in the passing game against the Dolphins last week. But they've been struggling a little bit over the last few weeks. He turned the ball over 3 times. Not very Baker-esque, but that's the way they're playing lately. And the Bucs gave up on their run game far too soon, as far as I'm concerned, also. And they ended up losing to Miami in a game they really a win would have helped them quite a bit. But they lost to Miami 20-17. Now the Panthers are still in the hunt. That in fact makes the Bucs a bubble team, not someplace they want to be. The Panthers are still in the hunt. They lost to Seattle, and consequently, they missed a chance to lock up a playoff spot and the NFC South title, which they could have done both of those if they had been able to beat Seattle, but they were not. Now, this weekend, a win gets them in, and a Falcons win would also put them in, but they don't need both. There's a very strange tiebreaker situation where Carolina is in the hunt. The Bucs are on the bubble. The Falcons are eliminated. However, the Falcons still hold sway over the Buccaneers. But I'll get to that when we get to the Buccaneers game, which is right now. So let me just spell this all out for you. If the Bucs win and the Falcons win, Carolina is in. If the Bucs win and the Falcons lose, the Bucs are in. If Carolina loses and the Falcons win, Carolina is still in. So Carolina has a big advantage. The Bucs have to win and they have to hope that the Falcons lose. And if that happens, then the Bucks have a chance to be division titleists and would lock up their playoff spot, which would be the last wild card left. They let me down so many times at home. They can't do it to me again. Desiree will have a fit if the Buccaneers don't win this game, man. I think they're going to pull it together. I think they're going to beat the Panthers. I think Seattle took a little bit out of the Panthers last week. I'm going to go with the Bucks one more time, picking the Bucks to win at home. Fire the cannons.
I hear you. I hear you. Okay. All right. Well, that is the bias preference there. A little Bryce is playing his little heart out there. Somebody said something. I'm trying to remember who it was, but they were talking about the Panthers and why they didn't, why they chose to do who they thought was going to win. And he just said at the end, I don't like little guys. He just said, I don't like little guys. I was like, gee, Christmas is kind of tough. Okay. Going with the bias, going with the Buccaneers, fire the cannons. Good luck, D. Next up, the game, Seahawks. Come on up to Levi. So you're not going to have your 12th man, buddy, at my beloved 49ers with a bias plus score of 6.5, favoring those Seahawks, Benny. Yes, 6.5, favoring those Seahawks, who are ranked number one in net points at 11.3 plus 11.3 compared to my Niners at seventh place ranking at plus 4.8, Benny. And then we're tied in the turnover differential for the season. But let me throw this at you, Benny. Over the last 3 weeks, the 49ers average net points, 12.7. Seattle's average net points, 6.7. What do you got for this game?
Well, first of all, we got two contests going on here. The one on the field and the one in the stands. Yes, the 49er fans are famous for fighting in the stands. And I'm telling you, there's gonna be some knuckles flying in this one. I know Seahawks fans
to start my show off with knuckles flying.
I know Seahawks fans are scratching and clawing for tickets to come down there and see their team play. And this is a very big game for both teams, and it's going to get rough out there in the parking lot and in the stands, even in the mezzanine. So keep your eye on YouTube next week. But anyway, after taking care of Carolina last weekend, Seattle now has a chance to grab the number one seed in the NFC. Extremely important. But they have to be able to avenge their week one loss to the 49ers. This is funny. We're talking about teams that have to play teams like 1 week, then another game in between, and then another week at the end of the season. These two teams played in the first game, and they will now play in the last game. If the Seahawks win it, they can possibly, they will get the NFC West title, and they could possibly get the number one seed overall in the NFC. Now, for the 49ers part in this game, despite all the injury woes that they've had this year, Kyle Shanahan's offense is humming like a finely tuned machine. And the number one seed overall in the NFC means more to them than any other team in the NFC, because if the Niners get it, they will be NFC West champs. The number one seed carries home field advantage all the way to the Super Bowl, which will be in Levi Stadium. Big, big deal. There's no way, as much as I love Sam Darnold, as much as I love the Seahawks defense, there's no way I can pick against the 49ers in this game. Going against the bias, picking the 49ers.
Going against the bias. Probably the best news I heard was Kittle said he will absolutely play.
Oh, absolutely. He probably could have played last week.
Okay.
But I'm sure they just kept him out because they knew.
I'm extremely happy that Tonges, Tonges, tight end, is getting some love. I use him in Madden all the time. As a matter of fact, he's my backup fullback. Um, and he catches the ball, runs his routes, does all of that kind of stuff. He might not be Kittle, but let me tell you, he's the good, secure
He's
place.
close, man.
Yeah,
He's close. The
hey,
first time I saw him play, first time Kittle got hurt this season was the first time I ever heard this guy's name.
okay,
And he came right in the game catching big passes right
absolutely.
off the bat. Never missed a beat. And he's a great downfield blocker, as all the Niners receivers are.
You know something? As a matter of fact, I want to throw out a little love to Ricky Pearsall. That last touchdown that we scored, what's his name was coming across the middle and caught that ball. And as he was running in, Pearsall, he had two guys to beat, and Pearsall took out one of them, which gave
Oh,
him the name too.
Juwan Jennings?
Juan Jennings, yes. Right, right. And Pearsall gave him a block, which cleared his way to the end zone.
Yep.
Down, and I mean, this is way downfield,
Yeah.
and so I haven't heard anybody really give him any kudos for that block, but I believe that that block was very important, because other than that, Juan would have had to fight off two defenders to get into the end zone.
Yeah.
So, absolutely. Okay,
You
man.
know,
Well, look,
Pearsall's not the biggest guy in the world, but how can you not block downfield when everybody else on that team blocks downfield? They're famous for that. The Niners are famous for that. They receive even when what's his face was still playing.
T.O.
Ayuk.
Ayuk.
Even when Ayuk was playing, he blocked his butt off. Jawan Jennings is a savage downfield. He clears the way for McCaffrey all the time. So yeah, that's a big team thing for the Niners.
Well, you said the magic word for the Niners beside, you know, Kittle, and that is McCaffrey. Are you guys finished with your fantasy? Because I know you were riding McCaffrey pretty hard there.
So my league that goes all the way to the Super Bowl is not done yet, obviously. I did clinch a playoff spot and the number 2 seed before we do our playoff draft. In two of my other five um, money leagues, I actually won two of them already. So yeah, I'm looking good. I'm great. I'm everything's fine.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Next up, Benny, we will move from Saturday to Sunday with the Browns at the Cincinnati Bengals. Bias plus score 3.2 favors the Bengals. Benny, Browns are 28th in net points. Bengals are 26, both in the negative. However, the Bengals are simply a little less negative. And the Bengals hold the turnover differential. Uh, they also hold the last 3 weeks turnover differential, Benny. So Cincinnati looks like the team in this particular matchup. And we both know that Myles Garrett needs one sack. So
Yeah, this is it.
he got to wreck somebody's pass game somewhere along the line and get that done. I'm kind of rooting for him to some degree to get it. So there you go. Who you got?
Yeah, he only needs one. So I'm going to lean toward him getting that if I was going to bet on it. But last week the Browns scored the only touchdown in the game and grabbed the early lead over Pittsburgh, and they never gave it up. They played extremely well defensively. Shador threw 2 interceptions, although one of them wasn't his fault. It went off of a lineman's helmet, believe it or not. But the Browns defense constantly pressured Aaron Rodgers, kept the Steelers' run game in check. Even though the run game was pretty good, they played well enough on the ground to win, but they didn't win. They lost 13-6 in a tough, tight one. The Bengals offense, with Joe Burrow at the helm, continues to be a major, major force. This offense is, I mean, it'd be a shame if it wasn't as good as it is, all the money that they spent on this offense, at Joe Burrow's request. but that money's been well spent if they could just get their defense together. Anyway, they completely overwhelmed the Arizona Cardinals last week, 37-14. I got to go with Cincinnati in this one. They're just,
Bias.
yeah, they're going to be too hard to stop.
I thought about you. Somebody said something about when you've got the type of quarterback that everybody believes in, the whole team plays better.
Yep. I said that.
Yes, that's why I'm giving you kudos. Yeah. Bengals 3.2 bias plus score. All right, here we go. Next up. Colts at Texans. Bias plus score 5.6 favors the Texans. Benny. Colts are 10th, but again, so much of their numbers were under Danny Dimes. The Texans are 5th. That defense is humming. And the Texans are plus 8.7 over the last 3 weeks. Colts are minus 9.7 over the last 3 weeks. So, Texans, what do you got?
Well, the Colts lost to Jacksonville last week, along with the Texans' win over the Chargers, actually eliminated Indy from playoff contention. So they were still in it up to that point. So I'm pretty sure that the Philip Rivers ride was fun, but I think it's going to be over. I'm pretty sure it's going to be over. I don't know who
think
they're
he's
going to put
already
out.
made the announcement he's not coming back.
Yeah. But it was fun.
Oh yeah, and he got like a 5-year extension on his health insurance. So.
And he needs it with all them 23 kids he's got.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, speaking of the Texans' win over the Chargers, that win clinched their spot in the playoffs, and they still have a shot at the AFC South title. With a win over the Colts and a Titans win over the Jaguars. I don't know about that second part, but I'm pretty sure they're going to beat the Colts. So I'm going to go with the Texans and go with the bias.
All right. Right. That makes sense. I mean, going with the bias, going with the Texans. Next up. Cowboys at your beloved New York Football Giants with the bias plus of 2.1 favoring the Cowboys. Benny, come on. 2.1, that's nothing. You can do that. Besides, over the last 3 weeks, your New York Giants are plus 4.3 and Dallas is minus 6 in net points. That's a 10-point spread over the last 3 weeks if you were just looking at net points in that time period.
Yep. Yeah, you're right about that. Let's see. Last week, the Cowboys played the Commanders. They scored touchdowns on their first 3 possessions. They never looked back after that. Commanders didn't have a chance. Now, the Giants last week dominated the Raiders 34-10. It was interim head coach Mike Kafka's first win. He got a game ball in the locker room. There was a whole lot of backslapping going on. I really like to see my team get a chance to celebrate something. Now, that sets the Giants up for the 2nd overall pick in the first round of the 2026 draft. And I am right now ready to make that pick for them. And I'm hoping and praying that this is the guy they take from Miami. I don't know if you saw Miami beat Ohio State yesterday.
Oh, my goodness. And all my people from Ohio, I had to ask them what the heck happened.
Yeah, from Miami. Offensive tackle, Francis Mauigoa, 6'6", 315-pound offensive tackle from Samoa, baby. Let's
Left
go.
Tackle?
Offensive tackle.
Left
He
tackle?
can play both. He can play both.
But primarily, he's going to be left, right?
I would say so. Well, no, actually, they're probably making the right tackle. He played mostly right tackle at Miami.
Okay.
He just plays some left. But the left tackle's not their problem. It's the rest of the line. They got a left tackle.
Oh, it's kind of like my Niners, eh?
Yeah, exactly. All you got to do is keep that guy healthy. So they'll be fine. So again, that being said, I really like the Giants in this one. I think they'll put the Cowboys out of their misery.
All right, there you go. Going against the bias, going with the Giants over the Cowboys, and that's less than a field goal bias difference. So I can see that. And let's face it, the Giants looking a lot better over the last few weeks. So there we go. And then and the Cowboys just let go of
Trayvon Diggs.
Trayvon. He got
And he just
picked
got
up
picked up
quick.
by the
Next
Packers, right?
Packers, yes.
Okay, well, that's our next game.
There you go. Bam! Packers at Vikings bias plus score 4.9. Favors the Packers. Benny ranked 13th in net points versus the Vikings ranked 18th. And then over the last 3 weeks, however, Minnesota +8, Green Bay -10.3, but that has the signature of one Derrick Henry all over it. So not everybody can duplicate that situation. What do you got?
Oh, I just took a quick look to see if Jordan Love is out of the concussion protocol yet. He is not. So it's still a little shaky as to whether he's going to play. Um, they lost to the Ravens last week, 41-24. It was their third loss in a row. They did clinch a playoff spot, though, because the Lions lost at Minnesota, so that got them in. Malik Willis started again because Jordan Love is still in concussion protocol. He actually played pretty well. I'm liking Malik Willis a lot. I think Malik Willis is going to make himself a nice chunk of change next season, probably with another team. But unfortunately for the Packers, they had no answer for Derrick Henry. So that was the end of that. That was their third loss in a row. Now, the Vikings win over Detroit actually put the Packers out of the running for the division title.
Wow.
Yeah, it did kind of lock them in, though. I believe they're locked into the 7th seed. I don't think they can do any better or any well, they can't do any worse because they're locked in, but they can't do any better either. Um, so that's sort of kind of a little spoiler for the Packers there. And I'm sure they're not going to want to go into the playoffs riding a 4-game losing streak. So, whew, man, that's going to be tough. Vikings are home too, and they're really feeling this spoiler role a little bit. I think the Packers are going to come through. I'm going to take the Packers to win this game. Go with the bias.
Going with the bias, going with the pack. All righty. I read an interesting article, Benny. I mean, did I post it? I know I saved it. I might post it. Where this guy was talking about how the Packers were connected to the Canadian Football League.
Mm.
So apparently, like way back in the day, these guys were playing like in 1906 type thing. When you got cut from the pack, a lot of people went straight over to the CFL.
Okay.
And then some of them came back,
Yeah.
So
They didn't have far to go.
yeah, it was a feeder system to some degree. But
That's
yeah,
cool.
the Packers were a big part of that. And this was um before the days of what's his name, coach
Lombardi.
Lombardi. All right, you're going with the pack, going with the bias. Next up, those crazy wazy Saints at those crazy wazy Falcons, much less. Bias plus score 3.6 favors the Falcons. Benny, both teams are in the minus in terms of net points. The Falcons just finished whooping up on the Rams. And the Saints are just coming out of nowhere. In the last 3 weeks, Benny, New Orleans is plus 11.3 in net points. Atlanta's plus 3.7. So if you're looking at the last 3 weeks, we'd be talking Saints for sure. But that running back that the Falcons got, man, any moment he's out. He's up the sidelines on you.
Both of these teams have found some get up and go here at the end of the season. Unfortunately, they're both eliminated from playoff contention, but being spoilers seems to fit them really, really well. Both of them. The Falcons they got the home field. They got the home field next week. Games in Atlanta in the Dome. They pulled off a major upset of the Rams last week, 27-24. Kirk Cousins, who still has hope of being a starting quarterback in this league, may probably with somebody else though. He led them to a 21-0 halftime lead. They picked off Matt Stafford 3 times. They didn't commit any turnovers of their own. And they fed Bijan Robinson 27 times for 229 total yards from scrimmage. What a day. What a day. One man show. They had, so in that case, Kirk Cousins didn't have to do that much. They had to hold on at the end, but they won it anyway with a 51-yard field goal with 21 seconds left in regulation. Good job by the Falcons. Now, rookie quarterback Tyler Shough. He brought the Saints back from 13 down. Big time come from behind win against the Titans, but the Titans are also playing a little bit better here at the end of the season. But yeah, they jumped out to a lead, but the Saints came back, beat them 34-26. He's now 5-3 as a starter, and he's making a very strong bid to be the incumbent starter going into next season. As well as the Saints are playing, and as much as I'm respecting what Kellen Moore is doing there as the head coach, as the new head coach, and how he's bringing Tyler Shough along, I cannot ignore Bijan Robinson right now. This cat is, he's all over the place. Watching him run is way different from watching Derrick Henry run.
Oh yeah.
Bijan Robinson, he leans more to a little bit bigger, faster, if you can believe it, Christian McCaffrey. He's closer to that than he is to the type of runner that Derrick Henry is.
He's bigger than Christian McCaffrey?
Yeah, he's a little bigger.
Okay.
Well, he's probably a little taller. I think weight-wise, they're probably around the same. He may not catch the ball as well as McCaffrey does, but this dude is slippery, extremely hard to tackle. Extremely hard to tackle. So I'm going to go with the Falcons in this one.
All right. Going with the bias, going with the Falcons. Titans at Jaguars. Bias plus score 20.9. I think it's one of the bigger bias plus scores of the weekend, Benny, favoring those Jaguars. And you said the Titans are playing a little bit better. Now they're ranked 30th in that point. Jaguars are ranked 4th. So that's a big differential right there, Benny. And then even over the last 3 weeks, the Jaguars are plus 16, Titans are minus 1.3. So either way, it's looking Jaguarish right now. What do you got?
So, yeah, we just talked about that Titans game against the Saints that they lost. They actually started off the fourth quarter of that game up 23-20. Like I said, the Saints came back from 13 down. But at the beginning of the fourth quarter, the Titans were still up 23-20, but they couldn't hold off the Saints' comeback effort, and they were only able to get a field goal in the second half. So, without being able to put any more points up, they couldn't hold them off, and they ended up losing that game. Now, the Jaguars are cooking right now. They beat the Colts 23-17. That put them in position for the AFC South title, and it keeps them in the mix for the number 1 seed overall in the AFC. It is not done yet. We haven't gotten a number 1 seed in the AFC yet, and Jacksonville's got a chance at that. It was their 7th win in a row, and it keeps them 1 game ahead of Houston. So that's good. They're not going to give that up. I got to stay with the bias and go with the Jags.
Yeah, I mean, really. Jags is just playing good on all levels right now, so let's see. All right, there you go. Bias plus favoring the Jags. Benny's going with the bias. Next up, bias plus score of 19.4 favoring the Rams. Cardinals are ranked 29th in net points for the season. Rams are ranked 2nd. And over the last 3 weeks, Rams are plus 17 in net points, and Arizona is minus 16.7. That's close to a 34-point differential favoring the Rams over the last 3 weeks. So there you go. What you got?
Okay. So the only bright spot for the Cardinals, mostly for the whole season, to tell you the truth, but definitely last week was tight end Trey McBride. And they ended up losing the game 37-14. It was terrible, terrible loss for them. But Trey McBride was able to shine. He had 10 catches in the game, and that gave him 119 catches for the season so far, with one game left to play. He actually broke Zach Ertz's single season NFL record for catches for a tight end. He also broke DeAndre Hopkins' single season franchise record for receptions also. So big shout out to Trey McBride. Now the Rams fell behind the Falcons 21-0 by halftime, and with no answer at all for Bijan Robinson, they were somehow able to tie it up at 24 with a last-ditch effort to come back with 2:46 left in regulation. But the Falcons put together a 9-play drive, kicked a field goal, and put them away. The Rams do not want to let a team like the Cardinals beat them. Number one, because they're in the division. Number two, because they want to go in on a winning note. I don't see them letting the Cardinals do anything in this game. I think this will be a big win for the Rams.
They better. Jimmy Christmas. Come on. All right. Going with the bias, going with the Rams. Next up. Lions at the Bears. Bias plus score 2.1, Benny. 2.1 favors the Bears. And if I'm not mistaken, as I look, the Lions are the net point leaders. So this swung on turnover differential. Yeah, swung over to the Bears side on turnover differential. Now, Benny, over the last 3 weeks, Bears are plus 10 in net points. Detroit is minus 8.3. So the last 3 weeks, Bears playing way better than the Lions, and now we're questioning the line. We talked about run game. This was we considered a classic run game team. We can't seem to get their run game going.
You know, if you run the same schemes enough in the NFL, the other teams will catch up with you.
You think that's it?
Yeah, I think that's it. Wow. I think without Ben Johnson's imagination, just trying to live off of what you did last season, it's not good enough. It's proven not to be good enough. I don't know if it's the offensive line. It's not the running backs. There's nothing wrong with them. It's got to be the scheme. It's got to be the line, the types of plays that they're running, the order in which they're running them, that kind of thing. But anyway, they've officially eliminated. Detroit was officially eliminated from playoff contention when they lost to the Vikings 23-10. Now, considering they were supposed to be serious contenders when the season started, their elimination was pretty embarrassing. I know I would have been embarrassed if I was part of that squad. Goff threw 2 interceptions. He lost 3 out of the team's total 4 fumbles, and he got sacked 5 times. People are really looking at Jared Goff kind of crazy right now. Like, he is not who we thought he was. It's a shame because he's had a lot of good moments too. But lately, these bad moments are making him look really bad. The crazy thing is that stacked offense that they had that we thought was going to continue from last season could only muster 10 points against the Vikings defense. And consequently, they got eliminated. Now, Caleb Williams holds the NFL record. Yes, Caleb Williams holds an NFL record for comeback wins after trailing in the final 2 minutes of regulation. I don't know if we had to dig deep for that record, but it is a record.
Okay.
He's done it 6 times.
Wow.
Unfortunately, he couldn't quite pull it off a 7th time against the 49ers, and they lost 42-38. I think the Lions are done. They're playing for pride. I know their coach is giving off all these weird analogies and stuff to catch the media's ear and, bite the kneecaps off type stuff. But I don't think that's going to save them in this game. I think the Bears are playing too well, and there's no way Ben Johnson is going to go out with a loss to his old team. So I'm going to take the Bears.
Yeah, Ben goes home, gets a chance to show them what they're missing. Okay, going with the bias, going with the Bears. Next up, Chiefs at Raiders. Last split score 15.6 favors the Chiefs. Coming in without Mahomes, probably without Kelsey, probably without Andy Reid. He probably taking the day off too. Yeah, let the other guy do it.
Oh,
Where's
poor
the enemy
Andy.
when you need him anyway?
Poor Andy.
The
Okay,
enemy's
so
in the game.
Chiefs.
He's in. Hey, wait a minute. The enemy's just real quick is showing up all of a sudden when they're talking about the Bears' defensive line. Okay, I mean, excuse me, run game. The Bears' offensive run game.
Okay.
All of a sudden, his name is starting to pop up a little bit more. We mentioned it about 3 weeks ago, and I was so glad because one of the oh my God, what's her name? One of the ladies on Good Morning Football brought him up. It was kind of like one of those win margin net point stories, like I told earlier, where everybody's talking all of this stuff. They all coaches and players, et cetera, and they're all talking about how great the Bears run game is, and Monangai. They like to say Monangai, and she said,
Right.
"Oh yeah, by the way, don't forget, Eric Bieniemy is the running backs coach." And I was
Right.
just so glad to hear her say that, just to give him some love. Okay, enough of that. We're talking about Chiefs at the Raiders. Bias plus 15.6 favors the Chiefs. And wait a minute,
Yeah.
don't they have the slide our fake slide guy coming in for the Raiders?
Kenny Pickett.
Kenny, the fake slide
Yeah.
guy.
Thanks for reminding me. Anyway, let's talk about the Chiefs. Chris Oladokin is trying to make a name for himself. He's playing quarterback for the Chiefs now. He's not terrible. Tell you the
He's
truth,
not Benny. I kind
he's
of like
very
him a little
mobile.
bit.
Yeah, he's very mobile. He's got a nice
Yeah.
arm. They talk about, and I know this does your heart well. You always talk about teams making sure that they get a backup quarterback that slightly, if not mostly, resembles their starter. And I think the Chiefs have done that.
Yeah.
He's very mobile. He's got a nice arm, not a cannon, but he's got a nice arm. I've seen him throw on some different levels. And yeah, he's doing pretty good. Somehow, last week they played the Broncos and they were able to kind of slow the Broncos down. They slowed them down, in fact, just enough to be tied up at 13 with 8:03 left in regulation before they actually fell 20-13. So that was another loss for the Chiefs. Not looking great. Now, the Raiders, I doubt the Raiders would have beaten the Giants last week. I picked the Giants to beat them anyway. But they clearly are tanking. They put two of their best players on IR. That would be Brock Bowers, whose injury he's been playing through the entire season, and Max Crosby, who actually posted videos of himself on a trampoline. Okay. Yet somehow they put him on IR. Now Geno Smith is done with a knee injury. I didn't think it was that bad, but obviously it's bad enough for them to not want to win this game. And that brings in good old Kenny Pickett. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs because it's obvious that the Raiders are trying to get that number one pick in the 2026 draft, and they probably will succeed in getting that. I'm going to pick the Chiefs to win this one.
So Benny,
Yes.
if you're tanking now, who are you tanking for?
The Heisman Trophy winner, Mendoza.
Mendoza?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Not an easy rhyme, tanking for Mendoza. We have to come up.
Oh.
Tanking for Tua had a nice little
Yeah.
to it,
Yeah.
what I mean?
I'm sure they'll come up with something.
Keep your ears open. Keep your ears open on that. So something's going to happen with that. All right. So you're going with the bias, going with the Chiefs. Next up, Dolphins at Patriots. Bias plus score 12.8 for this AFC East Division matchup. Favoring the Patriots, Benny. Dolphins are 21st in net points at -3. Patriots are third and plus 8.9. Let me see something here. Dolphins, Patriots. Dolphins over the last 3 weeks, minus 11.3 net points. Patriots plus 10.7. That's a 21-point swing. In any event, how you look at it, it's Patriot time, Benny. What are you going to do with these guys?
Yeah, it looks that way.
And Benny, they don't want to hear about how weak the schedule was they had to play. They said they don't want to hear that stuff no more.
They can't do anything about that. Whoever they send out there, they just want to beat them. So we'll see what happens here. But as far as this weekend is concerned, rookie quarterback Quinn Ewers completed 2 touchdown passes last week. He committed 0 turnovers, and he got just enough from his running game. Basically, Mr. Achane and a couple other people helped him out to hold off the struggling Buccaneers and win that game 20-17. So they were on a little high note going up to New England. Now, Patriots quarterback Drake May, however, gave another MVP type performance with 5 touchdowns against the hapless New York Jets in a 42-10 shellacking, in which not only did they beat up on a much weaker team, but they looked damn good doing it. That win and Buffalo's loss actually secured the AFC East title for the Patriots. It was a week later than they had hoped, but they have now secured the division title and wrestled it away from the Buffalo Bills, who have been holding on to it for the last few years. No way in heck the Dolphins win this game. I'm going with the Patriots.
No way in heck. I can understand it, no doubt about it. All right, Benny, you got a choice. Tua or was it Quentin Ewers?
Quinn Ewers. I'll go with Ewers.
I kind of thought you was going to say that. I kind of feel the same way.
Yeah, Tua's cooked. And well, we won't know if he's totally cooked until he ends up with another team, which I think is going to happen. I believe he's going to end up with another team, and then we'll have to judge him from that point. But, after seeing guys like Darnold turn it around and Baker Mayfield turn it around and all, I don't want to give up on Tua. I really don't. But the unfortunate thing is he's got all them concussions back on his resume, and he's got some seriously erratic games on his resume, and he's got this cold weather thing on his resume. That's a lot of negative stuff.
Yeah, we put it together like that. That's the truth. Good summary. So yours. All right. Dolphins, Patriots. Ben going with the bias, going with the Patriots. Next up, Jets at the Bills. Again, NFC East battle. Well, bias plus score 21-28 favors the Bills.
You said battle. Well, that's funny.
Well, let me put it this way. Over the last 3 weeks, the Bills haven't really been very impressive at +2, Benny.
Mm-hmm.
Jets, however, minus 27.7. So that's a 29-point spread. I don't care how you look at it. It's favoring the Bills. And Benny, Josh Allen played one of the stupider games I've ever seen him play. I don't know what the heck he was thinking and running around the way he was running around. Maybe it's that pressure from that Eagles off defensive line just making him wacky or something, man. But I really was disappointed at some of his decisions and just dropping back and getting tackled 25 yards, behind line of scrimmage and just stuff like that. That was just, come on, man, you're better than that. What's going on with them guys?
Well, when you look at the Bills situation and what they're kind of going through with their skill position players, they're not exactly a stacked offense. We call Josh Allen Superman for all the positive things he does basically by himself. And sometimes that ends up blowing up in your face, which it did last week against a really strong defense. When you start feeling the pressure of having to get everything done yourself, and your only real help comes from Cook, and he's having some problems here, or at least he did last week. That pressure can get to you, and it can make you look bad because you're trying to do way too much. That would be my assessment of the Bills right now in general. But anyway, let's get this game out of the way. Jets got blown out by the Patriots 42-10. It was their fourth loss in a row. But worse than that, head coach Aaron Glenn said, and you hate to hear this, I know Jets fans hate to hear this. This is a quote. Today was probably the one time I feel like our effort wasn't as good as I want it to be. In other words, I'm sorry, y'all, my team quit. That's not a quote. That's me. That's pretty much what he's saying. Ugly, ugly, ugly. Now, after the Bills fell behind 13-0 in the first half to the Eagles, they fought back in the second half. And thanks to the Eagles' anemic offense, they had a chance to win the game in regulation on a 2-point conversion. They came up with a play that they liked. It was there. And Josh inexplicably just straight up missed the receiver wide left. Okay. He could go to sleep and win this game. In fact, it's a good possibility that he may not even play in this game. But anyway, no, I think maybe seeding might have something to do with this. So maybe he will play. But anyway, the Bills will beat the Jets. No big deal.
All right. Jets are tanking for Mendoza. Wow. Amazing. Amazing. All right, there you go. Next up. Uh-oh, Benny. Your kind of game here. Chargers at Broncos with a bias plus score of only 0.6. Razor thin favoring the Chargers, Benny. The Chargers. And again, Broncos being ranked 8th. Chargers being ranked 12th in net points. So that gives the Broncos a net point advantage, which means it swung on turnover differential with the Broncos coming in at a minus 0.3. Apparently, their coach has talked about their turnover differential problems. Chargers are 0.3. And over the last 3 weeks, Chargers are plus 5.3 net points. Broncos are 0.3. So Chargers on both a net point basis over the last 3 weeks and on a turnover basis over the season, being favored by the bias plus score there. What do you got?
That's interesting. That's very interesting. As good as the Broncos defense is, they don't hang their hat on turnovers. They hang their hat on sacks, which could be a problem for the Chargers. Now, the Chargers couldn't crack the Texans defense last week. They were only able to kick a field goal in the first half, and they didn't find the end zone until late in the third quarter. That's too little too late, and they ended up losing 20-16. Their actual seed could be anywhere from 5th to 7th, depending on the outcome of this game against Denver and a couple other things happening within the conference. So it's hard to say where they're going to land. Because of that, all the starters are going to play. Believe me, you're going to see Justin Herbert, and they're going to keep their fingers crossed and come out of this thing as best they can.
Absolutely.
Now, the Broncos are the AFC West champs. They finally secured that. They need this win over the Chargers to secure the number 1 seed in the AFC. And remember, I said Jacksonville is also in position to get that number 1 seed. So this is a big, big game for the Broncos. It guarantees them first round bye, obviously, and home field advantage. So again, like I said, this is a big deal for the Broncos. It's a big deal for the Chargers. But the trouble that I saw the Chargers have with the Texans defense last week, I think is going to be their undoing against the Broncos this week, because the Broncos bring that same kind of noise on that D line. I'm going to go with the Broncos. May not be a high scoring game either. This one might be a defensive battle, but I'm going to go with the Broncos.
All right. Well, 0.6 is about as close as you can get. We've seen some ties, but that's pretty close there, going with the Broncos over the Chargers against the bias. There you go. Next up, Commanders at Eagles. Bias plus score 14.6 favors the Eagles, and the Eagles are probably not starting any of their starters. So weird game here, division matchup. What do you got?
Well, sir, these Commanders, boy. The Commanders season from last season to this season is like a night and day, man. Anyway, with 39-year-old journeyman Josh Johnson at quarterback,
Your boy.
yes, the Commanders actually cut into the Cowboys' lead. If you remember when I talked about Cowboys, I know it was a little while ago. They jumped out to a 3-score lead on their first 3 possessions. It looked like they were going to dominate this game. But the Commanders actually cut the Cowboys' lead several times. Each time they went ahead, they came back, but they couldn't pull it off at the end, and they ended up losing 30-23, which I'm sure nobody was surprised of. Now, with a 13-0 halftime lead, the Eagles' offense completely disappeared in the second half. Only a bad pass by Josh Johnson. I'm sorry. Only a bad pass by Josh Allen to a wide open receiver on a 2-point conversion allowed them to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Actually, disappear is kind of a kind word for the Eagles offense in the second half. They had I'm sorry. I know every time I talk about the Eagles, people are going, this was bad, y'all. I don't want to hear about, oh, I remember when this team did this and this team looked like that. They had 5 second half possessions. They punted on all 5 of them. 4 out of the 5 were 3-and-outs. And I believe this team leads the league in 3-and-outs.
You said it before I could.
They had 1 first down and 17 total yards of offense in an entire half of an NFL game. Unbelievable. These mood swings, it's like they're schizophrenic. This is crazy. But I still think they have plenty enough to beat the Commanders. I don't know what else to say.
Going with the bias, going with the Eagles. Yeah, I mean, let's face it, Benny. They had a bias plus of 14 points, and over the last 3 weeks, they're also plus 14. Yeah, they might not have had any offense going in that second half, but their defense is all day long. So, and they blocked the kick again.
Yeah.
Gotta watch them guys. They tend to do that. All right, next up, Benny. The final game of the 2025/2026 Super Bowl 60 season. We're reporting on the 1st of January 2026. And Benny, before we go any further, let's both give a happy new year to all of our listeners, all of those who have supported us. And yeah.
Happy New Year, everybody.
That guy is Happy New Year, to him. But Ravens at Steelers by a split score of 1.9, less than 2, favoring those Steelers, Benny. Ravens are 16th in net points. Steelers are 17th. And again, for the last game of the season, the bias swings on average turnover differential. So the question is, will the Ravens attempt to come out and bludgeon the Steelers the way they did the Packers with Derrick Henry?
Oh, are you asking me? Let me say this first. This is a humongous game for both of these teams who have had all kind of crazy ups and downs and have actually had questions raised about 2 of the most unfireable head coaches in the entire league. Nobody would ever think that the Steelers would fire Mike Tomlin. And I don't think anybody would ever think that John Harbaugh, with his illustrious career in Baltimore, that they would ever think about letting him go. But this is crazy, the stuff these teams have been going through, man. But here they are at the same point at the end of the season. The Steelers do have a little lead. They're 9-7, and they will be at home. The Ravens are 8-8. The Ravens are pretty desperate. Desperate enough to go up to Lambeau Field and take it to the Green Bay Packers 41-24. With the Browns defeating the Steelers last week, the Ravens went from all but eliminated to one win away from entering the playoffs as the AFC North champs. I thought they were done. They had a slim mathematical chance, and everything worked out for them. Of course, plus they took care of their business, and now they could go from they're done to being the champs of the division in one game. But they got to beat the Steelers. Oh, yeah, can't forget the weekly Derrick Henry report. 216 yards on 36 bone-crushing carries and 4 touchdowns, all on the ground. This was one of the games where not only did he have 36 carries, they never even tried to throw a pass to him. He had no targets.
Wow.
Just hand him the ball 36 times.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable, man. And McCaffrey's been putting up huge numbers. This is crazy. 36 carries.
They were interviewing him. He almost looked embarrassed at how well he did. He just had this look in his face.
But to me, he had that look on his face like, yeah, I could have been doing this. It was almost like he had to stop himself from saying it. But anyway.
I also heard some people say that questions about the coaching came up after this game.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. First, you look at the offensive coordinator, but then ultimately, when it happens this many times, you have to look at the head coach. Just like I say, you got to look at Sirianni when the Eagles' offense is going cuckoo like this. Dude, when are you going to go to the offensive coordinator and say, you got to change something? Something has to be done. You can't sit there and say, well, we got this running back rotation, so it was this guy's turn to go in. Screw that. You got Derrick Henry. You kidding me? Anyway, oh, jeez, I'm getting all upset here. Anyway, looked to me like the Steelers strolled into Cleveland last week thinking that they had everything wrapped up. They did kind of come off as a team that was smelling themselves a little bit and thinking, it's Cleveland. What the heck? We got this one. Here's the problem. All week long, the media kept propping up the Shedeur Sanders versus Aaron Rodgers narrative. They've been propping up these crazy narratives around Shedeur Sanders all season any doggone way. So they just continue to do that. What other team, let me ask you this, Barry, what other team has their beat writers sticking microphones in the third string quarterback's face in games that he didn't even play in? Only the Cleveland Browns did that. So now he's starting. So, wow, all this you've been through, and now you're playing Aaron Rodgers. And when he didn't feed into that, they said, oh, by the way, your dad played against Aaron Rodgers long time ago. And you know what his answer to that was? Yeah, we got a lot of old guys in our locker room too. Love it. I love Shedeur, man. I really do, man. Nothing phases this guy. Nothing at all. But anyway, the other narrative going into this game was Myles Garrett and the sack record, which I think he needs one more to get it. It's Michael Strahan's record, by the way. Just had to get that out there because he's a giant. But anyway, the Steelers' run game traveled really well, and they played pretty well. But Rodgers was inefficient. He was under duress most of the game. They just couldn't sustain drives, and consequently, they couldn't find the end zone. Actually, they punted 5 times. Sounds like the Eagles game. They punted 5 times, and they got stopped on downs twice. Oh. Now it's do or die. Whew. And I'm pretty sure Lamar's going to play.
Well, the one fun thing, let me say quickly, Benny, is people finally got a chance to see the Steelers tush push in its many varied forms.
Yeah. Yeah, and I told you they were going to do a couple different things off of that.
Oh yeah,
So,
oh yeah.
but still, besides the Eagles, nobody runs it better than the Bills. The
Well,
Bills tush push is
I don't
extremely
know if
efficient.
better, but I'll say no one runs it more for sure.
Right, but they have a lot of success with it. I can't remember them being stopped.
I
They
can't.
haven't.
Was it last year because he kept going to the left and they stopped him?
Yeah, but that this year, I'm talking about this year. They
Okay,
figured
well,
that
this
out.
year maybe so, but again, it's hard to stop the tush push. I mean, that's all physics. That's a physics battle right there.
Yeah, they figured it out. They
Uh,
figured it out. And people are going on Facebook talking about, they voted against it. Now they're using it. Yeah, well, you goofball Eagle fans forgot that your other thing you used to say was, if you don't like it, why don't you stop it? Or if you don't like it, how come y'all can't run it? If we can run it, why don't you run it? Then when another team runs it and they have success with it, you get all upset. Please stop. Please,
okay, take it
please
easy.
stop. Oh, geez. Anyway, I'm going to go. This is a
Drum
tough
roll, please.
one. Ooh, this is a tough one. There's Steelers got the bias. I want to go with the Steelers. I do. I think they're gone. I think if the Ravens don't take Derrick Henry and shove him down their throats, I won't watch another Ravens game. No, that's going too far. I'm going to take the Ravens.
Going against the bias, going with the
Yep.
Ravens.
I'm
Benny,
going
I
with
didn't tell you this, but over the last
25 plus carries to Derrick Henry.
25 plus. I didn't
Yep.
tell you this, but the last 3 weeks, the Steelers net points plus 3.7, Ravens net points plus 12.3.
Yeah.
So over the last 3 weeks, it looks like Ravens, but for the year and based on those turnovers, it looks like Steelers, and you're going against the bias, going with the Ravens.
Yeah. Sorry to say, I think Steelers fans are going to be crying in their terrible towels.
All right, Benny, that wraps up the 2020 by the Super Bowl 60 regular season. And once we finished all the regular season games for the week, we have one piece of business that we must always take a look at. And that is the Bias Plus Buster of the week for the previous week, week 17, going to those Minnesota. Oh my gosh. I can't even say I'm speechless. Minnesota Vikings. 25.6.
Yeah.
The Bias Plus Buster score, Benny. We even celebrate those people who weren't supposed to win, but overcame and won by the largest margin. That is
Yes,
our
sir.
Bias Plus Buster of the week.
Brian Flores showing off a little bit, still trying to get himself a head coaching job. He ain't out of it yet.
I think his head coach said something about he can stay here as far as I'm concerned.
Oh,
He don't
yeah,
have to
they're happy
go
with him.
anywhere.
Listen, all they got to do, their issue is personnel. It ain't him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Him and Spagnola probably have the best and the most uh, pressure packages, for lack of a better word, than any other defensive coordinators in the league. These guys bring pressure from all over the place, and they play man to man really well. So, but we'll see what happens.
All right, Benny. That wraps up the Ben and Barry on Football show for our upcoming week 18, the final week of the regular season. Please press that ring the notification bell, press the follow button, and follow us at www.benandbarryonfootball.com. Any last comments, Benny?
No, I just hope everybody has a great 2026. Love, peace, and prosperity to everybody out there, and enjoy these NFL playoffs. They're going to be good.
Well, for me, Benny, all I can say is the quest for six continues. Go Niners! Woo! All right, there you go.